Alright, first let me apologize. This is going to be my first YouTube video. I'm going to tell you why we're here, where we're at, and where we're going. Why we're here is because about 2 years ago I started throwing a cast net. Over the course of the last couple of years I have bought probably about 5 nets. Some which I've tore up, but I've bought 5 nets nonetheless. Needless to say, the majority of times that you buy a net is going to come white. And I don't know why that is, that's just the way that it is. I like different colors, so I started looking into maybe trying to get a different colored net. I found someone who makes a net but makes it blue, and those are the only 2 colors I could find, white net and blue net. Now I started talking to some old fishermen. I guess there were some reasons behind that. According to them, the white net is if it's cloudy, blends in with the clouds so the fish don't see it as well. The blue net, if it's clear, blends in with the sky. Well, I had a tough time swallowing that, and I'm not sure that I believe it. So, needless to say, I like different colors. So we are going to color a net. We're going to do 2 things. One, we're going to figure out how we're going to color the net, and then we're going to figure out whether or not that theory is true or not. So, started doing research on how to color a net. Needless to say, I could not find one YouTube video on how to do it. Ended up going to some old fishermen who have colored nets before and got different versions on how to do it. So here's going to be the first YouTube video that I'm aware of on how to color a net. You got to start with the water. You got to have hot water. Now the water boils at 212 degrees Fahrenheit. Some people say that may be too hot because it'll melt the monofilament lines. I can tell you this, that's not true, because I tried a test run on it and I had a rolling boil, put the monofilament in it, didn't bother it nothing whatsoever. So we're not going to quite get to rolling boil. We're going to get it to where it's just kind of a simmer boil, which is, right now they're running at about 198 degrees. Yep, just a cheap thermometer from Lowe's. And what we're going to end up doing is we're going to use a 5-gallon bucket, and we're going to fill it about 3/4 full with this hot water. And then we're going to use some fabric dye, which is all it is, and mix it all up. So needless to say, what we'll do since we're at this point here, we'll go ahead and get everything else set up, and then we'll continue the video. All right, we're outside. We got everything set up here. Our tarp, our water's already in the bucket. What we're going to use here is this right here. This, I guess it's Rit or Right. I'm not quite sure. It's black. We're going to color 2 nets. One's going to be black. One's going to be lime green. We're only going to do one on coloring it, and it's going to be the black. We couldn't find it in liquid. If you can get the liquid, you know, that works as well too. So we're going to try this right here. Basically all you're going to do is take this powder, which is a fabric dye. We're going to pour it into our water. Now we want it dark and we want it black, so we decided we're going to do 2 there. Now to have the color set into the line, we've got to have some vinegar. The acid in this vinegar will help the color stay. So we're going to put 1 cup of just plain white vinegar into that mixture. All right. This right here, I got this from Lowe's, about $6. Works pretty well to help mix this up. We're going to mix this up for just a second. Now I've talked to several people about this process right here, and I've got mixed reviews on how long it should stay in this water, or this colored water I should say. And most people have said that 15-20 minutes is plenty, but they've also said the longer it stays in, the darker that color is going to be. So I've got that mixed up pretty good. So we're going to leave it in for about 45 minutes to make sure that this color sets. Now as you can see, our net here is I think it was blue, but it's this is a Buddy's net. But the color didn't set in it too well, so what we're going to try to do is we're going to put it in this and see if we can't change it all together at one time. So we're going to put that down into that black color. Now this color will get all over you, so you have to be careful when you're messing with it. Of course, I'm not using gloves, and I probably should, but we're going to see how it plays out here. Now to get that all down in there, we've got just a little bucket. It's got a little weight to it. We're going to put that on it so we can get it all submerged down in there. What we're going to do now is we're going to wait for about 45 minutes, and we're going to come back out, and we're going to pull it out. We're going to see how the color is set, and then it's got to air dry, and we'll go from there. All right, so it's been about 45 minutes, and we're going to see how this turned out. And let me assure you that what they said about this color getting all over you is correct. I had to put gloves on because I had it all over me, what little I touched it. So we're going to see how this plays out. Now this net, as you pull it up, we got to make sure that we keep it all together because it's got to go up and hang in order to dry. So I'm gonna have to try to tie this real quick so it'll all come up in one piece, which is going to be difficult with these gloves, but we'll see how it goes. There we go. We'll just cut this off. It looks like it's taking a pretty good black color, so I'm happy with that. We're going to make a little loop, just simple knot. Hold it together. Now, what I've got here is basically a deer cleaning station is what it is, and try to get it to where I can pull this up in one piece. We'll see how it goes. The idea here is to get this to come up to where it will air dry. As you can see, that turned out pretty nice. I'm happy with that. Get it out of here. Woo! That's still pretty warm. Well, I've got it as high as it'll go.
I think you took the rope and tied it up too.
Well, of course, I probably got that all over me. But, I mean, it doesn't really matter. I think, because it's all it's going to do right now. All we're doing right now is air drying it. Let that color set, let it air dry. So I'm going to tie this off. In about 15 minutes, I'm going to come out and I'm going to shake it to get the excess off of it. And then we'll let it air dry for probably, I don't know however long it takes, 30 minutes to an hour. And now some of this color will come out. And when we do our next video, when we're actually trying to catch fish with it, it's gonna wash out a little bit, but hopefully we've let it soak long enough to where it stays this color. So this is how you color a net. It's all pretty simple, and as you can see, it turned out really nice. And I expect the green one is going to be just as good. And then we're going to prove that theory wrong, that you can catch fish with a net other than white or blue.